All right, I'm going to work on a bunny. Let everybody come in. This is a live recording from a live chat. So we are making a tag for a fib today. Hi, AJ, Sharon. We'll let everybody get. I'm basically ready. I pulled my stuff and finished. The part I tried to do all the digging while Shauna was finishing up. I was digging for one other possible paper napkin since I changed colors for the background. Not that there's a lot of background. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Kim. I'm glad you guys got your stuff all right this week. Both Elaine and Kim. And my order that was post office challenge got there safely this time. So third time was a charm. But I have not seen anything that sparks my interest. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Norma. Hi, Kat. Hi, Eileen. It's a boy this time, the giraffe. Hi, Shauna. Great tag, Shauna. All right, so everybody's pretty much here. I got the book. This is what I got for my birthday, or what I ordered myself for my birthday. I also ordered some alcohol ink refills, but they're not here. They're from Shinha Touch. And I got 5. I got like a marigold yellow, a geranium red, a teal, a brown, a lime green. They were all bright colors. So I did get the book that Janet showed us, The Art of Botanical and Bird, which she has done a flip through. I wanted it, well, I am Botanical Challenge. If I would sit down and actually attempt to draw the flower, I would probably do better. But I liked the birds, all the bird reference and the different foliage. So I did get that. And I bought that new. This was the deal of the century. I got the Down by the Sea book that Kathy Arbor showed us for $6. Used, mint condition. And I'm super excited with it because I like coastal art and it has lots of references and color mixing. And I have a couple projects that I've been wanting to do, but I was intimidated by drawing the kids. And this gives you some great ideas about sketching in small kids and proportion wise, which I'm sure you could also get if you got a drawing people book or that kind of thing. But this is in the ocean, has the sand. So I have a project in mind with that. And then this is the book that you all have not seen that I'll go through more detailed. The other two others have shown. Let me move this to the side. This is a Joe Dowden book. It's called a 2-in-1 watercolor book. And it's really kind of different. I've never seen a book like this. Okay. So it's spiral bound. And he starts out with a foreword. And then he talks about how to use the book, which I didn't realize was important until I started looking at the book more carefully. So I'll come back. Then he talks about materials, palettes, paints, papers, the same kind of spill that you get in almost every watercolor book, but this is what is unique about this book. It is split. So on this first whole page, Tay-Tay wants to say hi. Tay-Tay approves of this book. She is such a pain, y'all. All right. Say hi, Joycey. Hi, Shauna. Say hi, Aunt Shauna. You know I'm going to kick you off this table here in a minute. Cute as you think you are. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a good scratch, doesn't it? We like this binding. It feels good on the face. Okay. Can you go now? Can you leave? Good, Shauna. All right, Tay-Tay. Let's exit, Mama. All right. So anyways, it gives you a full page for the first project. Gives you a sketched drawing for technique 1. And mountain view is project 1. So there it is split. The page is cut. Okay. So at the top is project 1. Okay. Project 1 uses techniques 4, 5, 6, 14, 15, 16, 21, 25, 28, 30, and 31. So you're not going to use technique 1, but you need technique 4. So you can go to technique 4 while you're doing your project. And technique 4 is how to lay in a wash. So you're going to do your masking fluid first, your drawing and your masking fluid, and you're going to lay in your washes. And he's going to start talking about laying in washes. If you're not sure what he's talking about, you can turn down to technique 4. Technique 5 is wet in wet. Technique, and then it tells you how to build, and he's using clouds as an example. Technique 6 is wet on dry. So the techniques are at the bottom of the book. So while you're working on the project, if he's talking about a technique in one of the projects and you're not sure what he means, you can turn to that technique without losing the page, which is really different. And there are, how many? Let's see. So this is a mountain view, project 1. Project 2 is a wooded path. Project 3 is rolling hills and meadows. Project 4 is an old stone bridge. So now you're getting into some of his water techniques, which he is known for. Project 5 is a Spanish farm. It's a landscape. Project 6 is a Venetian canal. Again, you have water. Project 7 is a country barn in the spring. Eight is a lake scene, and again, you have water. 9 is a woodland stream. 10 is a sunset in the sand, so again, you have water. 11 is a boat on the beach. 12 is a noonday terrace, just kind of a still life landscape. And has shadows, so that's great. 13 is a bowl with grapes, so a true still life. 14 is a vase with poppies. And that looks like he's using some negative painting techniques in here because he's laying washes and then he's coming back and building his details. 15 is David with a cat. So it's a person holding a cat. A little more modern. There's a bigger picture of the 16 is Carrie. It's a portrait. Okay. Okay, that's the 16 projects. There are 46 techniques. Then he has a gallery of his art and other artists showing different watercolor styles. Then a glossary and an index. So I thought it was a pretty neat book, and I got this used. And it's the watercolor, it's 2-in-1. I am going to go back and order the big one that Jean has that's just on painting water in watercolor too. But I thought this one was affordable. I didn't pay very much at all. And like I said, I bought it used, and it was really nicely wrapped in plastic and shipped, and it's in perfect condition. I have not had any problems buying used books on Amazon. So that was what I got for my birthday. So for Vaughn's tag, I made my tag and I shrunk down my bunny pattern. And I have papers pulled for the front and the back. And if we have time, I may do a larger bunny. So for those of you who were not at Colleen's, the dimensions of the tag it is a 5-inch by 8¼ inch rectangle, and then it's notched. The corners, you just come in 3/4 of an inch on the top and the bottom to notch the corner. And that gets you, I don't have a hole punch, so I haven't punched a hole, I think. And I just measured 2.5 to get my center. And if you're interested in participating, let Colleen know. I did mine on watercolor, so I'm not going to be adding a lot over here where I'm going to punch. It's just going to be watercolor because it's watercolor paper. All right, so I've drawn my bunny. I know my nose is going to be this right here. So I am going to take, and I've already trimmed my pattern to save us some time. And I'm just going to go in and trace on my little piece of tissue. And I'm going to move the camera in. Give me just a second. Now that we're working. It was 8 5/16, but 5/16 is 1/16 in the difference between 8 1/4. And it's inside the book. So I made mine 8 1/4. Just to keep it simple. Because it's going inside, so that way Colleen's is slightly longer. I just used 8 1/4. And I'm 1/16 off. If that makes sense, it's just easier to measure. I just didn't see why we need it because all right. Is that a little better? All right, let me get my glue. I know what her the bottom is going to be. Okay, so that works for the nose. Let's do, I'm going to use dictionary paper and then napkin for the bottom. Mainly because I want there to be something under the napkin. And I'm going to use this napkin with the floral and the pink. Okay, and I'm going to pop that glue open. And what I'm going to do is move the tag. And I'm going to glue the napkin on. Then I can trim it. And I typically avoid putting too much of the gel medium on the top of the papers because I am going to use watercolor. And I'm going to save that because I may use that on this somewhere else. So I'm just going to put the glue on the bunny. And I'm going to trim this a little bit so it fits a little better. Okay. Next, I want to make decisions about her ears. And I think I want to use, I know I want to use some of this on the edges, this dark part, but just on the tiny little edges. So I'm leaning towards this map paper or this magical paper. Both of these are from Shauna. I think I'm going to go with the map. You'll get a little map in it, but not like big honking lines. And then I'm going to tear that little edge right there. So that'll go there. Hi, Teresa. And hi, Joy. I didn't watch your video yet that you posted this morning. I need to, but I haven't watched it yet. And I don't know if the rest of you saw when I was talking this morning when I first came into Shauna. Carol TMT. Hi, Kathy. Carol TMT streamed this morning under a new channel name, and it's not what Judy thought it was. So she may have changed it. She may have 3 names. Hi, Sherry. So let me show. This is what she streamed under. And I know it was Carol because there was Luna in the background. She just did a test. So it's Whispering Calderon is what she did a live stream this morning under. Now, Judy said something about a name Tiger Moon. And I did find a channel with Tiger Moon in one video. And there was a Tiger Moon in the chat when I watched the playback on the stream. But Carol was talking. So I don't know about that. I don't know about the Tiger Moon. But that's what she streamed under this morning. So for those of you who used to come to Carol's streams, she would stream on Saturday mornings. Yeah, I think she's testing. No, I don't know. Oh, maybe Tiger Moon is Little Phantom. That could be it, Christy. And she thought, and she got it mixed up. It was definitely Carol TMT. She was doing a live test stream. So she must have more reliable internet now. She has been posting some videos. It's whispering. It's whispering. Okay. I will post it on Twitter. Let me here. Give me just 2 seconds and I'll post it on Twitter. Because I already subscribed to it. Somehow I knew.
Hi, everybody. It's Carol from the Collage.
Sorry, I got it playing.
And I am just doing a test to make sure everything is working out and my internet will work. So I just thought I would come on and just check quickly. And do you hear me?
Like I said, she was just testing. There's nothing, no art. You reckon? Yeah. And you're going to hear Luna in a little bit.
Oh, that's good. It took me a while to get it to.
There were just two people in the stream, but I didn't know them by name. I wasn't there when she was live.
In order to get my camera and my sound to work on YouTube, because YouTube wasn't seeing it, and I couldn't find the darn.
Now it shows, when I tweeted it, it shows Carol's Arty Moments or something like that. But when it comes up as her channel, it's Whispering Calderon. So I just tweeted the link. It's definitely her. Where you put your sticky notes. Ooh, no. That is a negatory. So I was excited to see her. I've missed her streams. I wonder if Ella's ever going to come back to streaming. That was the other one that I wonder about. Okay, so I'm going to use this brighter pink on these pieces right here. And again, I'm going to tear and adjust that little angle at the top. All right, I'm going to do that again with the other side. And you could do this with like a photograph of your pet or something. This technique. I've just really deconstructed the photo to make my paper piecing pattern. Hi, Carol. I mean, not Carol. God. Hi, Colleen. Okay. All right, and I'm going to overlap that just a little bit because I want a little more pink going across here. Okay. And I think I'm going to use this bright pink on the cheeks too. So there's that little pop of color down here. Kind of looks like an upside down heart. And then I usually, and this is rice paper, so it tears really easy. And then I'll take this other one. And dry fit that in there. Okay, now I lost my little nose. All right, I put the pieces I've used up. I bet I threw it away. There it is. I found it. Just a second. I was being too clean. Hi, Marianne, Teresa, anybody I miss, welcome. Kimberly, Creative Mayhem, welcome. We are making a tag for a friend. Okay, so that's all the collage that I'm going to do on there, except for the back. I'm just going to put this paper on the back completely. And just let it, actually, I'll go ahead and do that and trim it. And I'm using all papers from Shauna's Happy Mail, which is fun because it's different colors than I have or use. Different stencils. Gel medium on top of it. And this was either rice paper or deli paper with several layers of acrylic. So it's not going to go translucent. Okay. Clean that up, dry. Oh, buffering. We are sending tags to Vaughn. We're sending them to Colleen, who's going to put them, the punch, and put them together in a little book. Thank you, Norma. Yeah, here at some of the art shows that I do, they call me the bunny lady. Let me dry that real fast. Here's the size of the tags. I have not done a bunny this size before, so this is new. I'm going to let Colleen answer that one for you, Marianne. And I am going to tell you, I have a line right here I don't want. So I am going to cheat and take a little bit of acrylic paint. And put it right in there. All right. So I'm going to do my background first. I'm going to use this leftover. It's a mixture of M-gram, dioxazine purple, and quinanthrone blue, and probably some neutral tint. So I'm going to let that be my background. To start with. And I don't care if it's a little splotchy. Okay. Let's try a stencil and a paper towel. May not. Yeah, it's not going to pick up enough to make a difference. So we can always add more to that later if we want. Okay. And I know I'm going to use some of my watercolors on top, but I'm going to go with the ink tints that Vaughn sent me. They are the blocks that I've just broken and put in a tray. So I'm going to start with a sienna gold. Around the nose. And then I'm going to go with a carmine pink, I think. And let that bleed in to that yellow. Blot back a little bit here in the center. Just lighten it. So I need to come in more like a comma. Then I'm going to go back to that golden yellow, and my brush was still dirty. I'm going to go back to the pink. Got a little bit of poppy in there, I think. Okay. Clean my brush. Go back in. to that gold color. Now back to the pink. I'm going to go back to the gold color, sorry. And some water and get that really wet and blot. The ears up here will lighten when it dries. All right, I think I'm done with the ink tints. The tag size. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Beth. Thank you, Creative. Okay, so that was the ink tints that I was using as a base. I think while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to come in and add another layer. And darken some of this up. All right, we'll get rid of that. Let that dry. Okay, and most of you know I make my own metallic shimmering watercolors, and I sell them on my Etsy. My Etsy is Debbie Epps. These are just some of the colors I've made in the past. I also have a little bit of gold on a napkin that I want to use that I'm going to tear, I think. And I'm just using water to tear it because I just want a little piece. I want a little pattern in here. But I'm going to do that more at the end. All right. So I'm going to get a smaller brush. And I'm going to go in with a gold. And let that gold shimmer in here. And I'm going to come down here and add some gold shimmer down here in the bodice. And the shimmer is probably not going to show up on the camera. All right, and I want to add some of the gold shimmer to the ears. in this middle area right in here on top of the map paper. And over here, you might, can you see it? If I rock it, you can see the shimmer. Sorry, I need to clean that big brush out real quick before I forget. I also have a brush over here I want to clean out. All right, now I'm going to go into a couple pinks. The goal of when I do the bunnies, the goal is to keep the bridge of the nose bright. And then I typically darken around the eyes. So I'm coming in with a slightly darker burgundy and a little bit of purple. That might be too wet. All right, let me hit that with the dryer real quick. Thank you, Shauna. Okay, that'll help. And then I'm going to come in, like I said, with the darker mulberry and a little bit of purple even. I'm going to get a clean kind of dry brush. And sort of blend that out. I'm going to come back with just a little bit of mulberry even down here. I'm going to get that mulberry color again on the outside of the ears. And that I don't mind if it mixes with the gold. A little bit of gold again. So you can see how it's kind of darker. And I get a little bit of a blend. But I want that purest gold in that middle area there. Okay. That puts some shimmer on it. And right now in the shop, I have Jewel Tones and Spring Fling. I have one In the Vineyard sale set left, which is some pinks and some greens. And that's the only of the first series I have left. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of glue and take I want that pattern of the gold from the tissue to be on that nose. I'm going to take a little bit of that. And I'll put a small amount of glue in here. The white will go transparent. And I'm just going to tear away some of the parts that don't fit. I'm going to let that dry. Scooting it a little more center. Pulling out that extra tissue. Just a second. All right, let me dry that, and then I'm going to hit it with a little more of the good stuff. Okay. It's hard to see it, but that puts a little pattern in there. And I think I'm also going to take, now that I'm looking at it, I think that there needs to be some shimmer in the background. So, I have a purple. We're going to attempt this. We'll see how it works. I'm just painting the inside of this stencil a little bit, this shimmer. Hopefully. Yeah, give me a little pattern. I don't care if it's distorted. I'm going to come on this side. Yeah, the pattern that I had cut was for a bunny. All the pieces. Try not to keep it too much. It's already a thick watercolor paper. And Colleen has to be able to punch it. So I'm trying not to add too much to the background. But that'll give some shimmer to the background and some pattern. And I might add some sewing material on this one side. Yeah. Yeah, I knew you knew I thought you were talking to somebody else who wasn't sure what I was doing. I knew you knew. Okay. Let me cut that down the side. And then I'm going to use some water to remove some of this. Okay, and then there was one other piece. Now, I don't mind getting the gel medium on the sides because it will help in a few minutes when we do the whiskers and stuff and the eyelashes. The pins will slide better. Okay, get rid of that. That. Close that up. All right, I'm back. Okay. Thank you, Kim. All right, so this is the Zig Clean Color Real Brush watercolor markers. And I'm going to use some of those just to kind of emphasize some of the edges and the lines. And then a damp brush to soften. It allows me to define the face. You could also use the Inktense pencils if you had them, which I considered, because I could have done probably a better color match. This is a purple here. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with a brown color on the nose. I'm going to come in with even a darker brown over here. All right. I think that's good for that, except for first layer in the eyes. Usually I use the Pit pens, which are a India ink pen, and they're permanent on the eyes. Use that on this nose over here too, because I need to darken it. And then I need to come in with a black. In this area right here. And come even in with a little bit of a white on the nose in a couple places. It's too dark in this corner right in here. Okay. The bunny's starting to get eyes, so Dot can look back now. I don't like this background, but I can't do the eyes until I do I think I have an idea what I want to do. Let's get the main part of the eyes in. Okay, with that. I'm thinking purple. I'm thinking purple paint through a stencil. Or gold. You like that background? I feel like it's dull next to the bunny. What I was thinking about was some purple metallic paint through a stencil. Because it needs some shimmer. Go back to that original stencil. I got to do it before. Oh, it's not going to be dark enough. Just a second. I'm going to add a little bit of purple to this acrylic because it's too opaque. All right, I'm also going to use this card to protect our little friend here. Oh yeah, I like that better. That's better. Needed some contrast. All right, and I may add some gold in there in a minute. Just in a few places. Better knock it down on that left side, though. Not all that advice to Shauna, and then I got carried away there. Yeah, it needed that gold. Okay, let me. Okay. Is that better? Hi, Janice. There might have been a more sparkly gold. All right, let me try that a little bit. Hi, Josie. Okay. That has to be dry. Okay, I'm starting to put the eyelashes in. All right, this is not. No, it's working. Give me just a minute. All right, I have to put glue and dry. I'm not gliding. On the eye. And then I have to switch to a smaller marker in a minute. Right, I'm putting some of the gel medium on the sides because that's where I'm going to have to pull the marker and the pins in a minute. And I'm hitting too many textures. Too much bump. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not wild about this background. All right, let me look for some pens that work better. Besides that number 5. Let me see if I have a 3. There's an 8, but that doesn't write. I need more of those. Here's a 1. I definitely need a 1. Here's a 3. Maybe we'll get lucky. Oh, yes, a 3 and a 1. We'll use those. All right. Put the little highlights in the eye. Okay, I feel like this is getting dry enough now. And smooth enough. Maybe I can pull some eyelashes. And we'll start with the Posca. Okay. Now I'm going to take the number 3. Okay, and this is too far out on this one side, so this has got to, some of this has got to go. And let's get the number 1 and I need the brown back. Okay. They're a little dark in places, but that's what happens sometimes. Okay. Oh, then I'm going to take the white ones and pull some white whiskers too. And then I'll take the number 3 pen. That's not going to work. All right. And then we need to put her name, and I need to sign it. I'm going to sign on this side. I'll put Madame Vonnie. All right. I think I am done. It needs some glue here and there. Tried to tear right here. All right, I think it's done. I don't think it's too thick over here to punch. I think I scraped down all this so that it should punch just fine. But I think I am going to ink the edges, though. thinking on both sides. Too much on that corner there. I think that just sort of helped finish it. It's a little harder to do in the smaller. Yeah, I always name them. It's a little harder to do in the smaller size. But I knew when I did the raised background that I was gonna not. It would give me problems. I shouldn't have. If you're torn what it needs in the background. It's not my favorite background. I wasn't gonna go purple and pink originally. I was actually going for a blue, but this is what led me astray from, I really had a green teal originally planned. But I was using I don't know. Her name is Vonnie. She's named for Vaughn. Whatever you want. I think I'm the first one that inked the edges. It just needed it. It's still got some places where there's extra hanging off that needs to be. It just needed it. Yeah, I would do whatever you want it to do. Like I said, I don't think I have it too thick over here, Colleen, for you to punch it on the side. It is watercolor paper, but I don't think it's too thick. There's the tag size again. I don't normally do tags. It doesn't really matter that it was a tag. But I have my envelope all ready to address to Colleen. I'm just going to mail it in this size envelope. It'll fit. Nobody would want to pay me what I would have to charge for that. For the time, for an Easter tag. Now, if I made digital copies or something of it and sold them, but I'm probably going to do some smaller bunnies to sell. But I'm selling the larger bunnies matted for $60. Oh no, this was fun. I've been meaning to do a smaller bunny, to try to do a smaller bunny. So now I have my pattern. It just will give me, I need to do a larger cat too. I have some cats I need to finish. I think my next art show is going to be April 27th. A wine and art festival in Midlothian, which is south of here. Kind of down towards CB, but more eastern, southeast than due south. I wasn't going to do it, but then they said they're going to put the wine merchants. Thanks, Mark. They're going to put the wine merchants on the street with the artists because the feedback, because this is how they set it up. Let me get a piece of paper. It's an old-timey town, which I love. There's stores on either side of the street. So you've got your street here. So they put vendors all the way down the street, back to back, right? With all your tints. So typical art show, people walk up and down. Well, that was fine until 4 o'clock. At 4 to 9 was the wine walk. Well, these are stores that are like restaurants and stores that are there all the time. They put all of the wine in here. So now you've paid $25 to do the wine walk. All that people did was do this. From 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. No one came to the art tents, hardly at all. I didn't sell anything. I didn't have looky-loos, nothing. So this year, they're putting the wine vendors out on the street too, so that the flow of traffic will go through and around. So it forces them into the art where the art tents are. Now, the artists that were inside here, little artists that had a table instead of a tent, they did good. They did good all day. So I wasn't going to do it again until they said that they changed where they were putting the art vendors. So it forces, I mean, I understand because if you paid $25 to do the wine walk and you have to wait in line to get the wine, this way when they're waiting in line, there may be 30 or 40 people in front of your tent waiting to get their wine at the next location. So then they'll stop and look. So it'll be a lot better. And if I like it in the spring, then I can do it in the fall too. They have one in the spring and one in the fall. So far, that's my only show this spring that I'm looking at. Because it's going to be so busy the next 11 weeks with school. I was afraid to book too much. Hopefully. And I'm registering for my art goggle, which is in October. That's the big show I do every year. And Shauna may come do that show with me. We talked about it, but the vendor fee went up this year, so not sure, because that will be a lot more outlay for her than me. I already have a tent. I already have lights. Yeah, she could be by me, side by side. Oh, Shauna, I didn't know it was a secret. But we don't know yet. It's a long ways off. I didn't know it was a secret, Mama. You didn't tell me that. You were going to announce it in April. The show's not until October. Well, you have to register. Registration opened last week. So they've upped their fees and they've made earlier registration because they're actually having to turn away artists, I think, for the first time. It's not juried. But there's like 50 bands in different locations. That is not the one that I'm going to, this one was $75 plus 25. This one was 100 in Midlothian. And the one that we're going to do in October is 90. Yeah, when you do your application, I haven't done my application yet, Shauna. You want to put that you want to be in the same block. We want to be in block 5, and that you want to. No, you don't pay any percentage, CB. Well, you always have little announcements. So I announced it. Yeah, this is just one of them. And I still say we need to find some shows in the Houston area. But I would have to retire to do that. Because it's too hard for me to go on a weekend. Well, I got to go to school and stuff to commit. Because I have State Science Fair and State Science Olympiad. Yeah, and it's a one-day show. Yeah. It gets your feet wet. And there's probably, what we reached on, what I read, I think 80,000, they said like 80,000 people attended last year. Because what they said last. 60,000 plus. More than 50 bands. There were 1,000 artists, 18 blocks with 1,000 artists. It's started 17 years ago. So it's a really cool area of Fort Worth. It is big, but it's personable. It's not like the main art thing that is $750 a booth. The Main Street Art Festival that's in Fort Worth, their booth fee is $750 for 2 days. And they're really super picky. It's juried. Yeah. You can be, 1 year you can be emerging for $250, but then you're off on a side street that a lot of people don't go to. So the people are always asking me, you need to do Main Street Art Festival. Why don't you do the big art show? I'm like, because I can't afford them. I can't take that risk. I don't charge enough for my art to begin with to afford to go to those types of shows. It is a group, for the most part, there are little to no local artists. It is a group of traveling artists, and I don't think they sell a whole lot of art. They might sell one piece. Yeah, that's what we did. And then all we did, Shauna, is we met down the street in a parking lot. Well, you'd be with me, but I do it with some other people every year. And we meet at a certain time before our load in, and then we line up our cars so that we're next to each other. So I'm going to sign up on the 1st. There's a girl that I always do the show with who does stained glass. Well, it's glass on glass. It's not really technically stained glass. And then there's another girl that has done it the last 2 years with us who does quilts and like totes and fabric things. Yeah, I'm going to do mine after the 1st when I get paid. Is when I'm going to sign up. Because I know I'm doing it. And I can send you the link to it's all up now. I'm going to pay for this one in April in Midlothian. And I'm going to pay for Art Goggle, I believe. Yes. And she doesn't, and it's glass on glass. It's not really technically stained glass. But yeah, she has to wrap like everything in bubble wrap. And she has to have lights to put behind her pieces to show it when it's not daylight. Good. But all we do is we line up our cars so that when we get our booths, we're in a row. So we'll have Shauna go first, then me, then Darla, and then Janet. And that way, if we need to go to the bathroom or we want to go get food, we take care of each other. And then I have a friend that always comes. Bob will usually take me and drop off and help me unload, and then he leaves. And then he comes back later in the evening. Now at Midlothian, he'll stay with me. Well, last year he didn't stay. Last year he was gone a lot. He dropped me off. We unloaded my stuff. He helped me put up the canopy, and then he left. It's just a long time to sit. And then he came back. I like doing art shows. I like visiting with all. Yeah, that's when I thought I lost my pencils. But remember, Dot, I found them after I reordered them. I'm telling you, it's little low price, not big price. So don't think big for your inventory. Think 5, 10, 15, 20, $50. Because most of the people are going to go and spend $5 to $20 at different tints. That would be great. When I retire, I can go do them in San Antonio, and I can go to Canton, and I can do what my other girlfriend does, which is she goes all over Central and South Texas and does, her and her husband. But they she does face painting, and he does characters. So they make a living doing it. Kay Moore lives close. Brenda B4 lives fairly close. That's the only people. YouTube people like Fibs. Well, yeah, CB. I mean, it'd be a trip for CB or Janet. Karen's just north of me. Now, Karen didn't come to Art Goggle. She came to my garage sale. And Mildred I met in Denton. Oh. CB could come up, do the art show, and go home. It's not that far. Well, let's just say in terms of Texas, it's not that far. Yeah, but we day trip thing, like I go to Waco and then come back, or I go to Canton and come back the same day. I need to go to San Antonio this summer. Right, CB? I may go to Houston again, Shauna. That'd be way out of your way, Shauna. That'd be way out of your way, time-wise. Shauna, you have a 5-hour drive to my house. But we need to go this summer and meet in San Antonio. You're so funny. The TV was restuck. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Austin can be difficult. Jamie lives by you, Shauna. Jamie lives in Conroe, outside of Houston. Now, you go by Jamie if you're coming to my house. But to get Jamie, you would have to do this. You would have to drive up and over to Jamie, then back down to CB, then up to me. That's cray-cray. I mean, I know we drive a lot in Texas, and that is not to scale. But you would have to go up to Conroe. From Conroe, then you could go up to my house, but that still would be going out of your way because I'm sure that you could take 6 up some way. I'm sure you could come up from Katy some way this way. What might work, CB, is if I go to Houston this summer to write curriculum, if at the week when I was done, Shauna and I could leave Houston and drive to San Antonio, and then I could make Bob come get me. Yes. Or more, depending where you go. Now, the other thought is Kay Moore and I drive from Fort Worth to San Antonio, and Shauna and Jamie drive from Houston, and then we all meet in San Antonio. Jean is probably listening to an audiobook. I don't think she's been feeling very good lately. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go get something to eat. I don't know if anybody else is streaming today, later, or not. You're coming next month to visit. Shauna's going to San Antonio next month. Are you going there for work, Shauna? All right. I will see y'all later. And I go back to school Monday, so tomorrow I'll mourn. Just to visit CB, that's good. Thank you, Dot. And I'll address that and send it on the mail Monday to Colleen. Oh, I know what I can show y'all real quick. Look. Our little things dried just fine. They have some little areas here and there that need to be smoothed out with another layer. But for the most part, they came out really nice. Thanks, Shannon. Sharon. All right, so is Colleen streaming? You are again. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit then. Bye-bye.